How you doing? How you doing? It's Bruce Hill of New Skills, New You, where we drive revenue through personal and professional development. We make sales simple. So watch me. Ooh, I don't know what that was. Watch me build a sales strategy. All right. And let's do it in 20 minutes. That's actually going to keep me from talking too much. Boom. That's all it takes. Now, here's a couple quick things. First of all, what is the sales strategy? How do we generate revenue on purpose? Okay. That's what sales strategy is. It answers the question, how do we generate revenue on purpose? I think a lot of times, we've done what we've always done. Maybe you're used to, what's my favorite is, oh, we're referrals based, we're word of mouth business. You can't plan ahead. You can't scale and grow sitting, waiting for the phone to ring. So that's where this emphasis is on purpose. I'm going to use the 4P framework. And I've done this many times, so if it's quick, I understand. Head over to LinkedIn, you get a little bit of call, say, hey, Bruce, can we break this down for our business? I've done it so many times from existing businesses where we just needed to outline the training for tech startups that didn't have anything formally in place. Maybe they had the tools, but they didn't have a framework, right? Or they didn't have a strategy. For entrepreneurs, right? For coaches and speakers that aren't technically salespeople, but obviously they need to generate revenue. That's the name of the game for this revenue. All right, so the 4P framework is very simple. First question we ask is, I can spell, but I can't type. People, the promise, the process, and the price. Okay, we answer these within these four verticals, if you will, is our sales strategy. So all we have to do is answer questions around these, and we'll have our sales strategy. So first, let's start with people. There's internal people, and then there's external, right? The internal, right now, I'm just going to do this for example. We're going to do it for months. So right now, I have contractors, partners that support operations side and other, like specific trainings that I don't cover. So we might reach out to Deanna Jean for networking and connecting. We might reach out to Demetria Moore, right? More Out of Life, where she does our leadership coaching. Me, I focus on sales and sales strategy. And we do have a few team members that will support us if it's a larger project. But right now, let's just assume it's just me for the internal. It's Bruce. All right. So I got to do this all myself. And this will be particularly useful for speakers and coaches that are generally solo preneurs. But I want you to think about this, like if you lead a sales team, maybe you have a business that you've been running for a few years now. You can use this as a sales audit and ask yourself the same questions to find opportunities to grow. Let's go back up here on purpose. Okay. So you're like, hey, we've been maintaining, but we want to grow. So you say, well, I'm not a solopreneur, right? I've got a team of 10, I got a team of 20, I've got a team of 200. These questions are going to help you find the areas of opportunity in your business. So internal, we're going to keep it real simple. It's just yours truly, Bruce Hill. Yep. And then, I love this. Don't share that. Now, externally, we need to answer a very simple question, but it seems to trip people up. Who do we serve the best? And I had to ask this question because what was happening is people would say silly things like everyone, or they would say women. And those are just too general to be useful. If I go to, am I sharing my full screen? Okay. If you type in everyone, nothing is going to come up, right? Oh, we got a dictionary definition. I can't call this person. I cannot email this person. I just get dictionary definitions. So, okay, I get some articles from LinkedIn. So when we say, who do we serve the best? I like customer-facing roles. No, not a question mark. Period. Frontline leaders and entrepreneurs, right? Man, these are three people that I really love, but I still can't really type this in to a search engine. So let's do this a little bit even more specific. So we say customer facing roles. I'm going to say sales. What do they call those? Executives, right? Account executives. So let's say sales rep, account executive. That's nice. Thanks for that, though. With the BDRs, SDRs, and so on and so forth. And then let's go down here. And then, oh, pause. Why is it so important? I can type this in. I can type this in, and I'm going to get specific answers. See how the answers have changed? I've got roles, I've got careers. Salesforce careers. So I know Salesforce has account executives. Maybe this training will be value to them. All right. I've got job descriptions. And let's even go even more granular. Let's go to LinkedIn.com. Shout out to LinkedIn. Oh, there's my friend Danielle. Hey, Danielle. Let's see here. If I type in everyone on LinkedIn, let's see what pops up. Okay, so executive coaches, Michael Green. But if I type in account executive, there we go. Account executive pops up, account executive pops up, account executive. These are people that may benefit from working with new skills with you. Now, these aren't the people that pay us, though. We'll get to that in a second. Frontline leaders, that could be a sales manager, that could be a district manager, sales. It all depends on the organization structure. And then entrepreneurs, who do we serve? Let's go back to this definition. Who do we serve the best? I like speakers because they're very specific in what they talk about. It makes it very easy to help them in a big way. I like coaches. And anyone else? To some degree, consultants, but consultants are such great problem solvers. They're not always open to learn, even though we can help them in a big way. So here's something very important. The people you serve aren't always the people you pay. These people may benefit from working directly with us. These people may benefit directly with us. But honestly, we need to be thinking about who can pay us. So that might be a director level, it might be a C-suite level. That's a conversation for another day. How are we doing on time? All right. These folks, again, usually solo operators, they can pay. So that's fine. So we got our people. We got our people who serve best. And then we have to ask a very simple question. Where do we find them? All right. The answer to that question is going to impact this. Actually, I'll put it right here so I can get to it easily. All right. Because if we're sitting around waiting for the phone to ring, we don't really know where they're coming from. It's from a referral, but even referrals can be where do we find them? How often are you reaching out to past customers to your network for referrals? How often are you asking them for an introduction? Are you incentivizing the introduction? Hey, we pay for referrals, right? For every new client we sign, we're going to give you a finder's fee. So I don't mind that you use referrals as part of your strategy. I just want you to do it. Here we go. On purpose. Let me bump this up. That's important. I just want you to do it on purpose. Okay? So let's go back down. We need to answer that question. Where are we finding? And then we're going to ask this question. And you'll understand, and this is where in my book, Better Questions, Better Clients, it really is just a list of questions. They're going to be strategic, they're going to be in an order. There's going to be a list of questions that are going to help us drive revenue on purpose. Why do they want to work with us? So why do they want to work with new skills with you? It's not because we're the best. That's not an answer. Here's where you have to think of your unique value proposition. I don't know why we put question marks on things. This is where we want to transform the business. This is a little bit different approach. A lot of times we have a sales training one time, we see a spike in activity, maybe even results, and it goes back to the way it was. I discovered, excuse me, not that I invented it, but I found out for myself that when we change the person, we change the business. When we grow the people, we grow the business. And there's a lasting and impactful change that happens over time, not just as a single event. So we don't want to turn them into killer closers, the master manipulators, right? We want them to be authentic versions themselves that hear yes more often. And that's how we predictably grow revenue consistently, right? Not just, again, a single event. And we believe that's through taking care of our people. So we're going to teach them to use tools. We're going to teach them to use automation. We're going to teach them to use AI. That's fine. I'm not against that. But I still believe that the only business is people. Once you get over a certain dollar amount, if it's $10, there's no reason to have a person in the process. Maybe it's a customer support person. But once we set a more complex solution and we start getting that 5-figure range, I think it's very wise to have people talking to your people about those future clients. All right, excellent. So an answer to this question and an answer to this question are going to make it easy for your future client to decide, hey, yes, this is who we want to work with. All right, so let's go back up here. Let's do this. All right, so we talked about people. Let's talk about the promise. This used to be the product, but I changed it to the promise because I've worked with quite a few organizations that are doing things very, very well. I just want to do them faster and better. So the promise is, where are they going? What are we doing? What is the outcome from working with you? This may not be a house is on fire situation. Those are always great opportunities because they have a sense of urgency. We're really looking for the people here. These are the 5-star clients. These are the ones that stay with us longer. They tell their friends, they're easy to work with, they pay on time and in full, right? Because they're focused on getting better, not getting to square one. Can we help folks that are behind the 8 ball? Absolutely. Well, our real focus is say, hey, where are you trying to get to? We want to work with clients that have big goals and not just make more money, right? So one of our highest missions right now is to impact 2,500 businesses and teach them success. Okay? That is a big, hairy, audacious goal. And so what we help them still don't think importantly is a word. And what I found is you can spend a lot of time looking for problems that aren't there, and they'll leave the conversation thinking you can't help them. So I found you say, hey, if I can help you get to where you're going, then does it make sense we work together? That's here. There it is. Another great question. Does it make sense we work together? I can help you get to where you're going. Promise. Faster and easier. The motivation, right? That's the reason we're going to say yes. Doesn't make sense we work. They're say, yeah, let's do it. And that shift has really helped me have some working sales conversations. And as I look backwards on some missed opportunities because I wasn't able to differentiate that, hey, just because there isn't a problem, there is still a chance for us to have value. All right. So, and again, I'm going through this very quickly. I promise 20 minutes. But as I go over in time, if you want to grab the book, let me put that down here. Grab a pre-order. I'll sign the first 50 hard copies. And And I have some access to some of the digital courses that dive into these things more deeply. Also, you have some resources while you wait. Depending on when you watch this, should be out the end of 2024. Right? Beautiful. Now, where was I? People, promise, process. Okay. Oh, wait. Let me explain one more thing for promise. The external promise is how you help the client. The internal promise is what are our goals. So let's say your goal is you're going to do a 6-figure quarter. Right? I'm not even going to put 100. That could be 900,000 for fourth quarter. Don't worry about it's probable. Ask yourself, is it possible? I would rather you fail your way onto up to 900 than set $100,000 as the goal and hit 120. And you're like, yeah, 20% above goal. When really you got the capacity for 400, 500,000. And please don't get caught up on the number, right? If you're already doing 15 million a year and ARR, that is going the wrong way, right? Adjust it to your business. Just make it higher than it was this time last year. That's all I ask. Make it higher than this time last year. And we'll work on the process. See how that all comes together on how are we going to achieve that goal. So let's do, let's break this down. Let's answer how. All right, your goal is a 6-figure quarter. Remember, 100,000, 900,000, still 6 figures. Okay, all right. So if you say, hey, we need to do 7 figures this quarter, be specific, right? We'll visit SMART goals some other time. And we can look at, we already talked about the people, right? But let's talk about the process, the tools we're going to use. So for me, I actually really like Pipedrive. Simple to use, lots of integrations with tools I already need. I can look at everything in one place. Quick note, there's a sales CRM, marketing CRMs, and then there's account management. We might even call them project management tools, okay? And yes, they overlap, but they do have different functions. Because marketing generates revenue, a lot of times it gets confused as a sales CRM. MailChimp, Klaviyo, Constant Contact are not sales CRMs. They're marketing CRMs. They can generate revenue. Say, please continue using them. If you're not using them, shout out to the marketing bully. You type that in, I promise you she'll pop up. She's active on Twitter and YouTube is popping. She'll help you with your email marketing. And it will generate revenue if used correctly. However, sales is a little bit different because it allows us to have a conversation. Marketing is generally one way, right? It brings awareness. The difference is sales brings conversation. Now, these both overlap. They do. So we're both going to generate revenue if used correctly. Now, these are generally after the client said yes, right? This is servicing a paying client. It can be used as a sales CRM, something like Trello, Honeybook, or what's up, ClickUp, Monday. I don't recommend. That's why I'm not writing these down. All right. I just need you to understand that all three of these are useful in the business, but they do have different functions. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. I'm going to use Pipedrive. I'm going to use Webinar Geek. Pause. How do they learn about you? Okay, we're going to use LinkedIn. How do they find out you exist? And I'm going to use something called Cognism. That's a tool for getting contact data. Most of you, if you have less than 10 employees, I'm going to recommend you start with LinkedIn and maybe LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And I'll do a training on that some other time. If you have more, or if you're getting into a 7-figure sales goals, you're going to need a little extra help. Okay. So what can we automate? Let me go back up here. So for our people, before we just go hire a bunch of people, I want to ask yourself, what can we automate before we delegate? Okay. What can we automate before we delegate? So when we talk about the internal tool, before we hire, in this case, right, yours truly, Bruce Hill. Oh, there's my picture. Love it. Right. Shout out to Daniel from the Hive Mind. And this is where we can scale more efficiently, where you don't have to have rounds of layoffs. Because we don't ask this question: what can we automate before we double? All right. All right. So how are we going to choose school? What steps are we going to take? And this is where tracking comes in, and this is where CRM and so forth. So they find out about us here. We introduce ourselves here. How do they learn more? I'm going to use Webinar Geek for some ongoing live training, or not live training. I'm going to do evergreen trainings. That way you can watch it at 3 a.m. I don't care. And then I'm going to do a newsletter. And right now that's actually hosted on LinkedIn. So let's do this. Right, where can they gain information about the business, how we serve, the why, and how we help them achieve their promise, right? Without me being involved in the process. That's important, because what happens is a lot of you, if I give you 1,000 people, if I give 1,000 people your number, it's like, hey, call them right now, your business would break. And so one of the things we talk about scaling a sales strategy is how much bandwidth do we have? It's another conversation for another day. All right, so how do they learn about us here? Excuse me, how do they find out we exist? How do they learn more? That's here. And then I use Calendly, shout out to Toby, for conversation. And I track it all through Pipedrive. It's my sales CRM of choice. I do like One Page a lot. It's a little bit newer, and they're definitely growing in the functions. So I've got to learn a little bit more about that one. But right now, Pipedrive is my go-to. I wonder if I still have that affiliate link. If it is, it'll be in the notes. All right. So let's see here. LinkedIn, Calendly, OneDrive, Calendly, Pipedrive. If I'm missing anything, you know what? So let's do this. One thing I'm getting better at is Euclid. Now you'll notice something about these, with the exception of this one. This all puts your whole sales organization less than 1,000 years. Yeah, this one I think, well, they may change things. You could run a whole sales organization pretty lean. And working in startups has helped me. Look, one startup we worked in, we did like 7 figures in revenue for Google Workspace. It was fantastic. And we had a few tools, as far as generating those conversations and making those introductions, but we use LinkedIn. I think we use ZoomInfo, and then instead of Pipedrive, we use Salesforce, which I don't think was necessary for the size of the sales team, but I didn't choose that tool. I just made the recommendations, and the CRO chose. This system right here, listen, let's see here, it's 100. Yeah, you're looking at less than 2,500 a year. If you add this in, like I said, if you want to scale, it'll go up. So now, this is how they're introducing me. This is how they learn more. Then what happens? We have a conversation. I'm tracking it on the CRM. We need to talk about pricing. Right? How do we get to our 6-figure quarter? There's two numbers when it comes to pricing. There's always internal and external. Internal is the salary paid on the team, salary, commissions, bonuses. The external is right, what the customer pays. So here's how the customer gets from not knowing about us to working with us, right? What happens when they say yes? Hey, let me get my font back. What happens when they say yes? Okay. I just keep it real simple. Stripe, and the document agreement, and we're going to use Calendly again, which we already have, so it's not a new cost, to schedule their onboarding. And then we manage the communication files, etc. In Google Workspace. Right? Easy. So they got to pay. So an agreement, schedule your onboarding, and we track it all in Google Workspace. And actually, I'm using Google Workspace right now to record this and for this document, right? So then I think I'm at 20 minutes. So then you're like, Bruce, what are our prices? I encourage you to be right here. There's no competitive advantage of being the least expensive, because you're really always going to be the second least expensive. Someone's going to figure out a way to undercut you, or they're going to have more dollars so they can sell at a loss until you're out of business. What I found is wherever the market average is to go above it. Premium prices attracts premium customers. Now, not everyone can be premium. I understand that. Walmart is $1 billion business for a reason. But, and you can adopt premium and mid-tier option. Here we go. So have 2 tiers to start. Let's do your premium offer is, X dollars. There you go. And then we'll have an entry level offer, which comparatively should be anywhere between 20 to 50% of the premium. Okay. Now, you may have things less than that, and you may have things in between it. But here's what I want you to do. Someone asks, how much do you charge? Give them a range, right? Don't force them onto a call or some complicated scheme unless it's truly a customized solution. And this answer still holds. Let them know it's between here and here. Say, hey, listen, my average client's been somewhere between here and here. Now, let me tell you something real quick to help put this in perspective. There is a law, I think it's called page transparency. And jobs are required, right, to disclose salary ranges for open positions. Okay, stay with me. What does that have to do with sales tracking? They are required to disclose salary ranges for open positions. Now, here's what happened. They would say, hey, the job role changes from $1 and can pay up to $1 million. All right, that's a range. And there were folks that were getting in trouble because the argument was this isn't realistic for the role, right? Let's say it's a customer success manager. Oh, I just thought of something. This would be a good customer facing role for us. Because they're talking directly to people who are paying us and want to pay us again. That's a good one. All right. So now they say, well, the role is in between. But realistically, a customer success manager, it depends on the organization, right? Should anywhere from 90,000 to let's say 210. Right? Again, depending on the size of the organization, experience level, team, all that stuff. So you see the difference here? There's about $120,000 difference. This is literally $1 million difference. So when you're telling clients, hey, here's a range, don't be this guy. Don't do that. Put this in red. Okay. You want to be here. Say, hey, listen, I understand you have a budget in mind. And you can even ask them, do you have a budget in mind? They say, well, we don't want to tell you a number till you tell us ours. Well, listen, if you say, hey, we want a year-long project, I'll let you know right now. It's going to be around here. If you say, hey, we just want a one-off workshop, it's going to be around here, right? But generally, my clients been between X and Y. Okay, give them a range. You might have some set prices for some set services. For example, let's say you have some speaking fees. Right? That might be a set price. Let's say you want to do a sales audit. Okay? That might be a set consulting fee. Trying to think, and again, I'm just using my business. I want you to think of this from your business. Speaking fees, sales audit. Where else can we help? Where else can we help? That's a flat rate. Oh, let's say you want sales support. Well, that's pretty easy because it's going to be per rep per month, or it's going to be per leader per month, right? Depending on who we're supporting. Right? And so this I can just tell you, right? It's not a secret. And I never want you to run around being secret. It's really frustrating and a word of information, and it doesn't build credibility. Now, however, you can tell them, listen. In order to give you an accurate answer, right? An answer that's not going to change next time we talk, I need to understand exactly what you need. And this is where the conversation and the client's training comes in. There's going to be a lot of links into this training, right? Conversations into clients is a great training. It talks about how do we get to, right, a strong price. So my recommendation is have a clear range. You have some set prices, share those. If you have customized solutions, customized, oh, I think it's spelled, but I can't find it. Customized solutions require conversation. And most people are pretty understanding of that. Most people are pretty understanding of that. So we cover the people, the process, and the price, the tools that we're going to use to accomplish this, and how, and it really is that simple, and how we build a sales strategy. Now, there's so much more to go into each of these, but this is where it starts. This is where the conversation happens. So this is September 8th. This is preparation for fourth quarter. So again, my name is Bruce Hill, New Skills New You. We drive revenue through personal and professional development. We make sales simple, right? Helping you hear yes more often without sounding salesy. And our value statement is very, very simple. One new skill will change your life. Until next time.